Hi, our last video. So I just wanted to go over the results of the quiz. A bit of a sudden finish to the course. I haven't seen you in 2 weeks, so this will provide some closure, a fitting end to our course. So I've taken a picture, and uploaded it for those who will not be watching this video. Secondly, I'm going to go over the results using the summary that you see on the screen here. And then third, for more detail, I'll go over each question later. So this is the quick results. Now, this is my summary results. I'm doing no webcam today for speed, and I'm shooting from home. So, right, so the first question, which is true about your micro lessons? So most of you got that. It's one answer. The goal of the follow-up activity is to individually assess students' understanding of keywords, right? And Storybook is to improve reading of native speaker books? No, as we said in the last Google Meet, if you were there. To improve students' rhyming ability? No, again, all of our lessons are to review the words. Doesn't matter how good they can rhyme or sing or read stories. It's really a vocabulary course. None of you chose this. Good. Writing, no. We said every class should have speaking. That's the primary focus. Keep student movement to a minimum. Of course not. Get students up and moving. Next, simplest game activity or direction. So this was referring to our PDF on week 3. Everybody, stand up with your partner. Simple, easy to understand. This one, difficult word. This one, when, which is like if, difficult. This one, the first person, so we said avoid third person, the first person, the last person. This one is Pidgin English. This one, using past tense, also wrong. You're trying to use present tense. Okay, now this was the sequence, and most of you got that correct, so I don't need to go over that here right now. This one, best example of give and get, that's the key. Both giving an example and getting an example from students whenever possible. So most of you got that right. Through and glue rhyme, they both finish with ooh sound, right? And again, you can see the OO on the screen, but you're just saying this, ooh. What other words finish with the sound ooh? And you're getting examples there. This one, horse and shoe and clue rhyme. Well, your horse and shoe don't rhyme for a start, so that would be wrong. This, you and do rhyme, yes. Do you know any other rhymes? Well, that's not an easy way to get an example from students. It's not the easiest. If you said what else rhymes with do and you, that would be better. 2 words rhyme when the last word sounds the same. Okay, you're explaining. So same sounds like blame. Okay, fine. Not the easiest examples, but fine. You know rhyming words, don't you? Well, that's rhetorical because you're not waiting to get students' responses. They're not giving you an example. So not the best way. To rhyme is to repeat the final stressed syllables. Ooh, tough meta language, not easy. Right? And again, you've got that. Isn't that right? It's rhetorical. Students don't, you're not asking directly, you're not getting them to give an example. You're just closing them off saying, got it? Like that. Shoe and who are rhyming words. Okay. Or they rhyme. What else rhymes with thank you? Well, you've made up a different rhyme. So students are not sure if they thank you and shoe and who rhyme. So that would be the best answer. Best example of paraphrasing. Again, most of you got that. So we said go from long to short, difficult to easy. So take one of these cards and put it in the sentence like this. Long, more difficult. So take a card and put it here, and you're showing them on the board. Short, easier. Good. Take one of the 20 cards on the table and put it on the board. Fine. The board gets one of these. Well, you're referring to the board as a person, and that would confuse students there. There are a bunch of cards. Too vague. Not specific enough. Do you understand? Great. Everyone understands, don't they? Well, that was my silly answer, of course. You're going from short to long, and that don't they doesn't work here. This is the correct word to put here. So, statement, is this the correct word to put here? You're questioning yourself, not the best answer. Take one card and put it here like this. Okay? So say one of these cards and put it in front of the last word. So you're going from short to long here. So that's not the best answer. Check all the true sentences. Now, again, most of you got these as correct, right? The ones that are, well, let's go over these. A to Z can be used in almost any vocabulary lesson. Yeah, it was one of the techniques. And you can use it anytime as a way to use the first letter to review words in a group. Not out helps you see which students need more help in practice, right? So the familiar way, the common way is, you're wrong, you're out. Well, if a student is wrong, they need more practice and they shouldn't be out of the game. They should remain in. Students who get it correct should sit down because you know that they know. Upside down, corrected teacher, and parrot have similar goals. Exactly. They're all checking that students are paying attention and not mind walking, sleeping. Now, to go to the wrong ones, no, slow is a way to help students speak more so they can guess what you're writing on the board. No, silent demo is a way to get students speaking more again. So we didn't cover that, but if you looked it up on the Weebly, you'll see that silent demo is you demonstrate silently. Students have to tell you what you're doing. So they're basically telling you the directions of a game. No, it's not a physical way to check order. It's used for like birthdays, for numbers, or months, maybe birth month. So you go January, February, March, or from longest to shortest to longest word, spelling from ABC, things like that. So materials. This is where there's more answers. You've got 6 answers correct here. So you have to know what these different things are. Pair of compasses can be used for making spinners. Yes. Staplers can be used to make flat books. Yes. You staple the side. Fake money from sentence auction. Yes. Sticky tape. Yeah. You can roll the card and then you stick it with double-sided sticky tape. Toy hammers or swatters, fly swatters for SWAT. Cards can be used for any things. Magnets, well, I think some of you chose this because you considered on the walls to be on the board. But on the walls means on the walls, as it says in the on Weebly. And you're not using magnets on the walls. Sticky balls from mini boards? No, sticky balls you throw at the board. It's an action game. You don't need them for a mini board. Thumbtacks? No. You would use a stapler or maybe a paper clip, or if you're getting creative, double-sided sticky tape. But thumbtacks are for putting pictures on walls or on a pin board. 4. So this time, and maybe I should have told you how many to choose in these things, but anyway, this makes it a little easier. You're choosing which 4 are for the instructions machine, the Dongsanam book. Unfold the paper to make a square. Yes. And again, each direction should have a verb, like fold, unfold, an object, unfold what? The paper, and then how, more detail, to make a square like this. So you need to know how to give a good full direction and how to make that craft, in this case, instruction machine. Fold your paper to make a triangle like this. Again, nice full direction. Draw a circle in these 8 triangles. So that was in this 8 in this kind of around the middle. Yes. Fold each corner into the middle. Yes. Fold each square into the middle to make a new square with the words pointing out like this. No, there was no words pointing out. There was questions in each corner, but that's a wrong direction. Now play a game with it. I don't know why so many chose. This is a terrible direction because they don't know how to play a game. It's just like saying, now go and use it for whatever you want. As we said, verb, like do this, now put each finger under each corner and move it side and front and back like this. So some full direction that shows how they actually use the craft. Turn it backwards is terrible English. Turn it over would be the best way. Or maybe turn it upside down. Fold your paper to make a tube, but there's no tube in instructions machine. That would be the roll sentence. Write some numbers, too vague. You know, students could write any numbers. It's only numbers 1 to 8. Bit disappointed with some of your choices there. Now play a grammar game, Rounders. And again, this was on Weebly. There's the links. Most of you got this one. Good preparation could be true or false. And finish the sentence could be a good follow-up. A lot of you chose this. Substitutions as a preparation is too difficult and not suitable for grammar because substituting words only would work, but not if you're reviewing grammar. DIY word order, again, too difficult as a follow-up, takes too long. And if you're doing the activity correct, like for example, he plays basketball, she plays basketball, they do taekwondo, so you've got he, she, they, subject, prepositions. You've got the verb, so subject and verb must match, so he plays and not he play. And then the matching sport, so the correct collocation, like do taekwondo, not play taekwondo. Play badminton, not do badminton, etc. And in that case, DIY word order, it's always the subject, object, verb, and there's not much you can do with that as a follow-up. Q to the A, well, there isn't a question and answer in this activity, so that doesn't work. Growing story, there's no story. Same syllable, we're not doing syllables. And none of you chose this. Good. Because again, broken telephone is about sentences. When using a song, story, or video, you should give students a specific task. That was the while task that we talked about. Most of you got that. Good. It's not a reading or singing class. In fact, that means you haven't done a while activity. While is not just read together, because you're avoiding that, because then students just go to sleep probably, or not concentrating, not focusing on why you chose that story or song. Play the video only once? No, definitely not. They need to see it several times, focusing on first easy things like keyword count, and then more difficult things like the actual words and the sentences in the third time. Watch the video together, and again, that means you're not doing the while activity. No, if you give them a copy, they're all heads down. You're doing it as a class, you're doing it together. Dragon on the doorstep, which is true. Suitable while reading activity is pause and ask. Yeah, that's the easiest one, the most common one. Some of you chose this. Pre-teach, disappear, glare, pause. Why? If you're doing rhyming words, disappear is not one of your rhyming words. Neither is glare. So they don't need to know these words. It's not about the meaning of the words, it's about finding the rhyming words. Suitable before reading, picture word matching. Again, because you're not doing these words, it's not about finding the meaning of the words. You're only listening for the rhyming words. Book is unsuitable. Well, that's not true. I wouldn't have given you an unsuitable book because there are too many words? No, perfect number. I can't remember the number, but there's probably about 10 pairs of rhyming words. Perfect. Authentic, real listening lesson. Yes, trained. So this is numbers, times, fruit names, weather names like sunny, cold, foggy, etc. Surprised many of you chose this. Maybe some of you, I don't think I did this semester, but maybe I did a horse racing commentary. You could do words in, students have to guess the genre, like where might you hear this, what kind of job is this? But I'm not teaching the words because it's so fast. And horse names, Blumenthal or Red Velvet, these are all unusual names that students don't need to know. Directions if you're recording it to language teachers like me and Will, speaking slowly is no longer authentic. That's classroom prepared, so that's not suitable. TED Talk for children? No. How to improve your listening? This might work for you as teachers, adults learning about teaching, but not for children. Again, I'm surprised that 13 chose that. And the last one, suitable for phonemic awareness. And we said this is all about sounds, phonemes, sounds only. So you're not writing, you're not doing syllables, you're doing sounds, listening for sounds, which is the odd sound. Now that took a little longer than I was planning, but that is video 1 covering the answers. If you need more, go to video 2. All right. See you soon, guys. Okay, that last so-called summary was longer than expected, so I'm going to try and keep this short. So this one, I'm just showing you directly what you saw. Of course, in my settings, what I did was you could only review once. I also shuffled the question order, so you had a different order each. That was really just to combat any cheating, really, or sharing of answers. Although, judging by the scores, it doesn't look like you cheated. I expected higher scores, people, but maybe my questions are too tough. I don't know. Maybe I didn't get over the important points. I thought I'd reviewed things quite clearly before the quiz. But anyways, it doesn't matter overall because the scores are relative. I just wanted to finish on a high note with a good average score, but the average score turned out to be only 9 out of 20. Not great. But anyway, let's have a look. So there were 8 multiple choice questions like this where you chose one answer. These should have been the easiest to answer. And there were 5 multiple answer type questions, checkbox. Right, as we said, you should finish by assessing students individually, not a team or group activity. This was the simplest and easiest because you're avoiding difficult language or grammar words. This is not the easiest word to use as an example because there's too many phonemes in there. Avoiding third person, avoiding pidgin English, avoiding anything but present tense. Right, and most of you got this one right. So you're starting with some general and you're focusing each question after that to follow. So what words did we learn last week? Can you remember the animal names? So students are like animals, right? Can you remember the animal names? And they give you some. What animal begins with B? So this is like an A to Z style technique. What's butterfly in Korean? You're checking that they know the meaning of that word. What about D? Another example. And commendation. You did well. Thank you. Right. Best example. Again, give and get whenever possible. And in the first video, we talked about this. So through and glue, rhyme. So through 2 simple word examples. They both finish. You're saying why they rhyme. They sound the same. You're asking them to give you an example. Best example of paraphrasing. So something longer and more difficult, take one of these cards and put it in a sentence like this, then something short and simple like that afterwards. Teacher techniques. Right, A to Z, any lesson. Just examples of key words using the first letter. Right, as we explained, students who need practice shouldn't be out of a game because they can't answer. They should remain in the game so they get more practice. And these are all ways to maintain students' attention. This one, excuse me. So multiple answers here. There were 6. These are all different things. I did correct myself. If you just say compass, that's something used for map reading, northeast, southwest. Pair of compasses was on the materials paper that I uploaded for making spinners. Staplers, fake money, right. So these are all good. Instructions machine. I think some of you didn't look carefully at what these things are, and that's why you might have chosen other ones. Turn it backwards, as I explained, is not good English. So turn it over, turn it around, turn it upside down would be better. Right, and this one's tricky. You have to think about it, but that's why it was 2 points. So you're thinking, what's a nice, simple preparation that gets them focused on the key words and ways to check individually that they can finish sentences. That could be writing or speaking. Both are good. Specific tasks. So that was just checking that everyone knew what you're doing with it while reading, watching, or listening activity. And when you check this story, you'll know it's about rhyming words. So you're focused on that, not all these difficult words. Spelling the word, writing it is not important. Matching with the meaning is not important. So you're only doing sounds in this. Right, most of us got this. Too difficult for children. Not authentic. Not appropriate. You don't need to know horse names because, as you know, horse names are usually difficult. Right, so these ones are all good. Odd sound out. Find that sound and substitute that sound. But these are not. These are for actual words, so you need meaning and spelling. Okay, a bit fast, but hopefully that answers questions. If you have more, get back to me. But to me, this is an assessment that shows what you've understood. So in some ways, I feel I failed in this course that because I expected the average score to be at least 13. I really thought that your scores would be better, but not to worry. The usual thing has happened. I got scores ranging from 1 out of 20 to 19 out of 20. So that means that some of you knew what I was wanting. It's not like my questions were impossible, but I know I have a reputation for having tough courses, but I'm generous with scores at the end. So do not worry, your score will be better than Google shows. Have yourselves a good holiday, and I hope to see you around in person somewhere on campus. Take care.